Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your Walking Dead Season 7 second half Q&A for today. In this one, the first question is, do Rick and the others think that Carol and Morgan are still alive? So the first question came from BZA RZA GZA, and it's a Wu-Tang name, I think. I remember RZA. That's about it. That's going way back now. He said, not once since the season 6 finale has Rick and the group mentioned Carol and Morgan. And then there was a response that said they assume that they are dead because Carol disappeared and Morgan went after her around the same time the main group was captured by Negan. So that's going to be something interesting to see in the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7, because they must assume at this point that they're dead. I mean, how would they think otherwise? In the Season 6 finale, they're driving all these different ways, they're going down all these different paths, and they keep running into saviors at every turn. Rick knows that Morgan, went off after Carol, and he told him something along the lines of, if I don't come back, I must be, or assume I'm dead, don't come looking for me, this kind of deal. And he did, of course, have to kill the Savior in order to save Carol, and Carol did survive it. But from Rick and the other group's perspective, they must assume at this point, after this much time, with Daryl being, imprisoned and kind of like sort of tortured with the music and starved and everything, fed dog food, and then eventually gets released, and all this other stuff has happened. You've had the double deaths in the premiere. You've had the Spencer death in the mid-season finale. They must assume that Carol and Morgan are dead for sure. Like, there's no question about it in their minds. They must be like absolutely certain that if Morgan and Carol were still alive, they would have come back, or at least one of them would have come back. And also, they might be kind of pissed too, because if you think about it, in the second half of season 7, when they find Morgan and Carol, they might be like, why didn't you guys tell us you were alive? We thought you were dead. Like, what the hell? You might be pissed. It's like, couldn't you send like a zombie anagram or something? Like, I don't know, put a note on the back of a zombie, kick me, and push it in the direction of Alexandria. I don't know. Like, it's really weird to me that they never tried, like, even Carol wanting to be on her own, she never even tried to go and tell Rick and the others that, hey, I'm alive, just want to let you know everything's cool, but I'm going to go stay out here for a while. That kind of deal. Like, they never told them at all. And, oh, by the way, Morgan's alive too. So, and it probably, if you look at the first half of season 7, it probably has a lot to do with them losing hope, because that's two of their best fighters. If you look at JSS in season 6, the two that defend the whole community of Alexandria against the wolves and defeat the wolves are Carol and Morgan. Pretty much the two of them. I mean, you've got Carl, and he helps out here and there, and some other little things, but majority of the kills there on the wolves inside Alexandria during that battle are between Carol and Morgan. And Carol, of course, is the one who stops the wolves from gaining control of the infirmary. Had the wolves had gained control of the infirmary, all of the weapons and food and everything, they might have been screwed. They might have lost the whole thing unless Rick and the others were able to come back in time before they cleaned the place out. But the wolves were close. I mean, they were close to taking out everybody in Alexandria if it wasn't for Carol. So at this point, losing those two fighters, in addition to losing Glenn and Abraham, you can see why in the first half of season 7, Rick and the others were like, okay, there's no hope here, we can't fight back, we can't, because they had lost, from their perspective, at least 4 of their people, and then eventually Spencer and Olivia in the mid-season finale. So it's weird that they never even let them know that Carol and Morgan are still alive. They must assume they're dead. They have to, at this point. So that'll be good to see when they figure out they're not. Probably happy to see that they're alive, but they're probably going to be pissed off too that they didn't let them know because they assumed them to be dead. Maybe they won't address it at all. Maybe they'll just see them and be like, oh, so nice to see you, and I'm glad you're alive and everything. Why the hell didn't you tell us? Next one's from Dodson43. He says, hey, Trev, longtime viewer, fan, follower here. My question, with ammo being in limited supply, do you see Michonne teaching Rick and others how to use swords against the walkers? So you're right to a degree, Dodson. You would think that at this time the group is probably going to be using less firearms. because of course now they've lost their bullet maker as well too, and they're very short supply with everything. At this time in the zombie apocalypse and in the future as well too, we'll likely be seeing a lot more groups fight like the Kingdom, where they have swords, maybe more horseback, spears, things like this. Because you don't want to waste ammo against walkers, and that's something in the TV series that hasn't been called out. But in the comics, Negan calls out Rick and the group about using guns against walkers. He views it as like really stupid in the comics. He's like, you guys are so ancient, like you haven't figured out that you should not be using guns against walkers. You're draining your ammunition, and you should be killing them with hand-to-hand weapons rather than a finite resource like ammo. So so we'll see more and more of that over time. I think less cars and more horses and things like that. So it should be cool to see kind of them run out of all their supplies and start to kind of live more like something you'd see in Game of Thrones or something, which should be cool to see in the Walking Dead zombie apocalypse universe, and we're starting to get there now. J-Dog says, Trev, does Carol even care about the group anymore? I can't stand her right now, LOL. And that's a good question from J-Dog. She should have at least told them she was okay. I mean, it's not cool that she didn't tell them that she's all right. I mean, that makes people think that you're dead for sure, especially during all that chaos that's happening and everything, and the Savior's besting you and everything. So, does she really care about the group? Well, I mean, this comes back to, I did a video last year, we talk about drives. A good way to understand it is Freud's Eros or Eros and Thanatos. So your life drive and your death drive. And, for Carol, her death drive has taken over more, and she's kind of wants to be alone. It's like an old dog or something. They go off, they want to be alone, they hide, this kind of thing, and they die, right? It's very peculiar behavior for organisms, animals, humans, to want to survive and feel pain and do everything we can to survive, eat food and recreate everything we do, procreate everything we do to survive as a species. And where it turns, to the other way and where they want to die. Carol is in that kind of state right there. She's in a state where she wants to be alone. She probably wants to die. Maybe not, like, she's probably debating it. She's probably close, which is bad. And that happens to probably most people when they get older and their bodies start breaking down and they get they just experience a lot of pain, is whether or not to keep eating and keep striving and keep going on, or to give up, close off, want to be alone and to die, right? So she's in a pretty down state. I don't personally hate her for it. Like you said, you can't stand her right now. I understand that, but if you look at everything she's been through in the series, losing Sophia, Ed, her whole family from prior to the zombie apocalypse, and then losing Sam and losing Lizzie, Mika. So she has lost a lot. She's been fighting for the group all the way through, and it would make sense that she would be in that kind of a state where she'd be tired. But yeah, it's quite the downer, and hopefully she'll get her mojo back. She'll be Ezekiel and the others can help bring her back, and we'll see her maybe, if not become a super badass anymore, at least want to live, because right now I don't get the sense that she wants to live anymore, which is pretty depressing, and to be honest is not the best to see. So hopefully she can figure that out, and she can kind of get it back. Red Poncho Man says, do you think the second half of Season 7 will be mostly filler episodes, just like the groups meeting, including new group, and finally deciding in the finale to unite and take on Negan, and a few skirmishes here and there? So from Red Poncho Man, oh man, they better not fill out the second half like crazy, because I mean, the first half, a lot, like, again, I did the review for the first half. If you guys missed this in the channel yesterday, it's posted. Check it out. If you got 15 minutes, you want to watch it through and see where a lot of us are at with the first half of Season 7. If they fill out the second half again, they put in a whole bunch of bottle episodes, and they just have stretch out storylines to their maximum, I mean, people are going to be really pissed, and also it might continue to lose viewers. But the problem is, it's already filmed, so they can't, react to the kind of decline in ratings in the first half and then be like, okay, we're going to do great in the second half and do something. It's already all filmed. It's already all done, so it's too late. But I would think that there might be, of course, there's going to be some things added in. As long as they're good add-ins, I think it's fine. As long as you add in stuff that is gripping for the viewer and entertaining, that's okay. So I don't think we're going to see all-out war right away, but I think we're going to start to see skirmishes and the group fight back against Negan, and some new, characters come in, new villains probably, and it should be exciting though. I think it's going to be exciting for the second half of season 7. I don't think it's going to be as slow paced in some of it as the first half. I think it should be a better half than the first half of season 7. Just based on prior Walking Dead halves and seasons, it should be better. Because if you think of it, the second half of season 4 is also, it does have some slow parts too, right? If you look at second half of season 4, still and some of the other episodes in there after Too Far Gone, it does. It's like a new beginning to the story and them all meeting at Terminus at the end. It's got a lot of the characters walking around, trying to find each other. It's still good, but you could compare it, I guess, to the first half of season 7 where it's, it's just different. It's just slower than a lot of the other halves. So, And last one will be from Marco Tonin, and he says, "Hey Trev, love your channel. Wanted to ask your opinion on season 7. Do you think The Walking Dead is starting to build for the long haul, since they're establishing the new communities, bringing in new characters, and sort of making the world a lot larger, so a larger world? And are we going to see a few seasons forward, a time where Rick and his group won't be the main focus, but there will be a lot of different groups that will follow? Thanks, and keep up the good work." So from Marco. So you're right, Marco. They are definitely, making things bigger. They're definitely, this first half was probably all about setting up for the long haul and the changing of the story. And it's necessary too, though, at least to, include all these different communities and build up and change it. You can't just have it survival horror like that with one small group surviving at a prison, then being on the road, and then being here, then being there, then being here, then being there. You can't really do that forever. You have to have some of that, but I do think that they're doing a good job in switching it up and keeping the show original. I haven't heard anybody say in the last month or two that the show is getting repetitive after the first half of season 7, because it feels, like we said, totally different from any other half. So you can call a lot of things. You can call it boring, you can call it bottled out, you can call it whatever you want. But I don't think you can call it repetitive. And I think that's one strength, that's one really good thing about the first half of season 7 and the second half of season 6. Just very different. First half of season 6, way different. All about zombies and No Way Out and everything. So, it's definitely changed it up a lot. And I think it's a good thing. And I think it's going to be good for the series going forward. It's just that during that half, it may not be the most entertaining or the most exciting half that we've ever seen. But it should get better next half, and season 8 should be the best season ever, probably. So we'll see how they handle it, because it's tough to predict, how good is it going to be. Sometimes seasons turn out better than you think. Sometimes they turn out worse than you think. You have to see how it ends up. But I think the best for The Walking Dead is still to come. Anyway, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Continue sending me your questions, and I'll continue making videos for you guys. If you like the video, please thumb it up here. Check out these other videos here. I'll post right here, so check out some of the others if you missed, the first half review or some of the other videos we did this week. Person in the boots being a woman. And if you want to subscribe, bottom left, appreciate all you guys for subscribing. Appreciate all your support, guys. Happy holidays. Have a good week this week. Hopefully your Christmas shopping is all done and you have fun with your families as you celebrate. So for this one, see you guys tomorrow. It's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.